Hello Internet, I'm Jackie Fox and I think we need to have a serious talk about pornography, socialism, and the hidden economics of the Internet.
She's the boss.
Some of these performers go on to become highly paid professional porn stars, but they don't have to go the amateur route anymore. They can come in with leverage. They can come in with a following. By controlling the means of video production, they can get a leg up on the competition, and this quasi-socialist model is already starting to dominate the porn industry. But do they control their pay? Is someone still extracting profit from their labor? Yes, this is still capitalism, remember. Cam sites eat up a lot of the money that their performers make in fees, so it's not perfect, but it is changing the industry one cam girl at a time. But wait, is this really what it would take to own the means of production when it comes to making homemade porn? Sure, you may own the means of production in a literal sense. You have the camera to film, the computer and software to edit. But it's important to note that Marx's writing is set in the context of the Industrial Revolution, while the economics of porn isn't like the economics of an industrial factory. Sure, you can produce porn, but it's not like you're gonna burn your own DVDs and stand on a street corner selling your own bootleg porno. At least, not in 2021. Let's face it, the internet and our ubiquitous access to it have changed porn, and porn was a big part of what made the internet what it is today. As fascinated as we are by how the internet has changed the world around us, we overlook the thing that's been sort of a backbone of the internet. The unspoken economics of online porn is a wild ride. Right now, your porn video isn't even so much of a product as it is a raw material, and you need a platform to convert that raw material into money. This is the process of turning porn into money.
When any of the many large production companies Mindgeek owns shoots a video, first a script is written by Mindgeek's in-house team of writers, which basically consists of like a dozen burnt-out comedians in Montreal. By the way, don't let the fact that most of Mindgeek's staff and offices are in Montreal fool you into thinking that they're a Canadian company. They are a Luxembourgish? Luxembourgian? I think that's right, but it sounds wrong. Anyway, the point is that they're technically from Luxembourg because that lets them avoid paying taxes. The script is then sent to the director, who is subcontracted by the studio and is also, just like the rest of the cast and crew, non-union and paid a flat rate, no overtime, no residuals. Once made, the video is then posted either to be streamed behind a paywall or sold as a clip. Either a shorter version of the video or just a full video that's old enough to no longer be lucrative will then be posted for free. The free content then is basically just used as advertising. Individual performers can then also, depending on the tube site, set up their own premium accounts, such as Pornhub VIP. Pornhub will also actively funnel viewers towards the accounts of performers they watch, and also pays out a hell of a lot better than any comparable tube site, including YouTube.
Mindgeek, a company so staggeringly large that they actually host some of my videos, is the largest of these companies by far. They own most of the big porn sites, including Pornhub, as well as production companies and various other elements of online porn infrastructure.
Mindgeek is not only how Chris Angel addresses nerds, but also the name of the biggest streaming company that you've probably never heard of. Mindgeek owns an ever-growing list of the biggest porn sites and production companies. At time of recording, Mindgeek owns Pornhub, RedTube, YouPorn, Tube8, Brazzers, XTube, Spankwire, ExtremeTube, Keys Movies, PornMD, Thumbzilla, Reality Kings, My Dirty Hobby, Trans Angel, Sean Cody, Men.com, Digital Playground, Mofos, Babes, GayTube, Twisties, Peepers, SexTube, PornIQ, Webcams.com, BDSM.xxx, Casting.xxx, Chetch.xxx, DameJones.com, FakeAgent.com, FakeTaxi.com, Lesbia.com, MassageRooms.com, Mature.xxx, Tubes.xxx, Orgasms.xxx, publicagent.com, publicsex.xxx, teen.xxx, and mom.xxx. I mean, say what you will about them, you can't deny that they're a family company.
On paper, they rival companies like Amazon and Google in some ways, despite having almost no name recognition with the public. Because regulators and people in general aren't willing to talk about the porn industry openly, they're able to maintain a vertical monopoly within the porn industry and pretty much ignore any laws or best practices. This actually makes their business model very similar to Google and Amazon in various ways, likely including the monetization of the data that they collect from you as you take care of business on their sites.
Once again, leading the way in technology, tube sites gather data on everything you do and everything you watch. These sites know things about your sexual preferences that you don't even know. Mindgeek has data on what clothes you think are hottest, what positions turn you on, and even what furniture layouts make you nut the hardest.
Play it again.
In addition to stealing the business model and even source code from Google, Mindgeek and other similar platforms are fueled by piracy and some really problematic hosting practices. For one, across their sites, they host a lot of stolen content. But more shockingly, videos of actual rape, underage performers, and revenge porn. On one hand, with as much content as uploaded to these platforms daily, it's going to be nearly impossible to stop some of the stuff from getting through. But they aren't really trying very hard at all. Some rape victims have had to sue Mindgeek to get their videos of their rape taken down. Though, by the time it could have easily been downloaded again and re-uploaded, which might require a separate lawsuit to take down, and this is generously assuming that the first lawsuit makes them do anything at all. Perhaps worse, in a story that reminds me a lot of Amazon's online sales empire, piracy is built into the business model, and in early years it was an effective negotiating tactic as they were building their vertical monopoly.
The big issue with Mindgeek is their hosting of pirated content. Like I said, this is how tube sites started out. Imagine if Spotify started as Napster, but also still was Napster. And this is an important part of how they were able to take over the industry. Not saying that this is a conspiracy or anything, but when Manwin, the company that would later become Mindgeek, was first negotiating with porn producers who might not have wanted to accept whatever offer they were making, Manwin could, since they still host pirated content, basically say to them, look, your stuff's gonna wind up on our site either way. If you take our deal, at least you'll make something off of it. Again, I'm not trying to put any conspiracy theories out. I don't believe that that was a literal conversation that anyone at Manwin or Mindgeek ever had with anyone. But that dynamic is absolutely why Mindgeek was able to dominate the industry.
If that doesn't remind you of the tactics that Amazon is using to establish resilient online vertical monopolies within their storefront, you aren't paying enough attention to Amazon. Before I move on, I feel like I should point out that as many issues with Mindgeek as there are, they're not so different a company from YouTube in most ways that matter. In fact, YouTube can be worse than Mindgeek in a lot of these issues, and like I noted, and as many performers would agree, Mindgeek pays a lot better than YouTube, even if all the amateur porn stars came together and set up a collectively owned and democratically operated platform of and for the cam girls, cam guys, and cambies. There is another layer to independently owning the means that turn your porn into money. See, you still wouldn't own the internet. I know, it sounds weird to be talking about owning the internet because internet culture is a beautiful anarchism that feels as though the internet belongs to everyone. Even the property rights right won't respect Facebook's right to tell them to shut up and get off their lawn. The truth is, the internet is owned in a similar way to land, though we aren't inclined to think of it that way. To own a plot of internet, you need servers and a certain level of web services and tech support. Most companies don't invest in buying internet real estate, instead renting space from a wealthy landlord. A recent high-profile example of this is P0RN being kicked off of Amazon Web Services after a contractual dispute about their moderation practices. This is where the real money comes from in the internet: landlordism and rent-seeking behavior. And the two biggest property owners are Amazon and Google. This is the economic backbone of each respective company, and it's what allows them to take the risk and chase long-term gains by wasting money to cripple their competitors. No matter what website you do business with or visit online, you can bet the owner of the site is paying one of these two companies or one of their subsidiaries for web hosting or services. Perhaps these truths about the internet are carefully swept under the rug because they would reveal two of the most massive monopolies that you probably interact with every day, with or without knowing it. And for the amateur porn star looking to own the means of production, this is some pretty harsh competition. If we had servers, web services, tech support, and our own community-owned platform where the rate of pay was decided democratically by the workers and talent, that would be a small bubble of socialized porn within an otherwise capitalist industry. Now, here's the real downer for some of you out there. In a post-revolutionary socialist world, porn might not really exist the way it would today. It's hard to say from my perspective in 2021 if people in a future moneyless society would be inclined to make porn to begin with. Often, the top 3 reasons people get into porn are: they're broke, porn pays a lot per hour, and they enjoy sex. In a socialist society, they wouldn't be broke working their day job, so that's the top reason down. And in a moneyless society, the second would be irrelevant as well. So the only people who would be making porn are people who just like making porn. Knowing some of the exhibitionists out there, I don't think porn would go away in a society like that. But it wouldn't be as ridiculously abundant in every kink and variety as it is today. But still, I think I could sleep easy knowing that poverty and hunger are a thing of the past, even if it means that there is a lesser variety of porn at my fingertips. I want to say a very special thank you to everyone who has made it to the end of this video, and as YouTube obligates me to, I have to remind you that if you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe and do all that social stuff, because it really helps the channel grow. If you want to support the channel in other ways, like Real Progressives or these other Foxy patrons do, you can always donate at Patreon or make a one-time donation at Ko-fi, and help me afford to take the time out to do the work and do the research and keep making content like this, while also being able to keep it commercial free. Thanks so much to everyone who supports this channel. I wouldn't want to do it without you all.